dare you? How dare you? You guys here? Who's here? Are we live? Good evening and thank you for joining. Last minute, hadn't seen you in a minute. You know I have to do the manual thing on Facebook. Hold it, hold it, hold it. It's so weird. I have to manually set it to public. It does this thing by default and it does like private. Okay, why not, right? Okay, so here we are. How are you? I know I've been kind of grinchy for these holidays. You know, I was just talking to Girl Code, talking about how how did you guys feel this year? Like, what's going on? The more I learn, the more I'm changing in terms of holidays and things. I don't connect. I'm not in the rhythm with this world system more and more. How are you all? How do you feel about things? Let me see. Girl Code, you here? Thank you, Sissy. Hello. Thank you. Thank you so much. Appreciate you. Wow. Made my day, Sissy. Who's here first? 420's here first. From Canada Stan, checking in from the Great White North, as they call it, huh? What's up? I'm glad to see you, 420. Look at that. Another new, they say it's a new year, so let's play along. It's a new year. It's called 2023. Sean is here. Sean, welcome on Facebook. If you're joining there, I love you. Smooches. Jamie, hello. Jamie's here. Hello. Mish, you're here? Well, look at this. Mish is here. Another new year in clown world. Yes, we got to talk about what is going on. Someone, I think, made this comment about parody, reality. What was the other thing? It's hyper crazy right now. Okay, so if I didn't say hey, oh, Camilla's here. Hi, Camilla. How you doing? Hi, IG. Hey, sis. How are you? Yes, Happy New Year. All of that stuff. What year is it? The time, they do a lot of time things, right? Keep you off balance. Daryl, hello. Yes, same with you. You're not into the holidays. What they've told us are holidays. They feel vapid. They feel empty. I look around the neighborhood. Only one person had lights up. What was it like in your neighborhoods? Were you seeing a lot of festive decorations? The feeling wasn't there. I just didn't. Sometimes I would just feel things. Yes, holidays, bah humbug. It's you know, it's something. Molly is here. Molly, hello, Molly. Thank you for the super sticker, Molly. I appreciate that so much. Welcome, welcome. Nancy, you're here. Nancy's here. Yeah, it's a commercial, very commercial. And now that we're just seeing more and more the commercialization of things, it just feels it's hard to go along with it. And it just, for me, I just can't do it anymore, everybody. I wish I could. I'm not that good of an actress. Can't act my way through it. So I just have to be true to it, that I'm not recognizing those holidays. I'm recognizing other holy days that would, you know, I shared some of the ones that I was recognizing this year. Daryl said weak decorations. Yeah, weak. You still have a few. There's a person that I was passing by their home a couple weeks ago, and they were the house, you know, the house that had, it looked like an amusement park. It was just so many decorations, and yeah, they're going to have fun taking those down, aren't they? I shouldn't be like that. Mish, is it your birthday? Happy birthday, Mish. Well, happy birthday to you. And Bridget Brooks is here, joining from the Bay Area. Welcome, Bridget. Let's give Bridget some love. Thank you for joining, Bridget. Welcome, welcome. Hey, Aaliyah's here. Aaliyah, yay. Hey, you said hopefully the spells are breaking down. That's what I see, Aaliyah. The spells on my mind are breaking because you know what? Around the holidays, I would sometimes feel a little bit of down, like blue, like depression, maybe little slight depression, not every year, but just, certain years. And if you were a kid that went through living through a broken home, you know what that's like. You got the parents, fighting over you. They're going down, like you spend this holiday with your dad, you spend this holiday with so that makes holidays different for, you know, those kind of situations, right? But we are here and we're going to play along that it is 2023. And what does that mean, right? Oh, Mish said it's not your birthday. Wait, oh, sorry, folks, not my birthday. Just don't recognize their so-called New Year. I recognize the New Year is on my birthday in July. Oh, okay, got you. Okay, so Mish is saying that birthdays, you do the New Year in July, which a lot of people recognize New Year in spring, right? What is the time that some people are recognizing the New Year? But anyway, I want to talk about something that we have been talking about for a few years. It comes back around, it seems, and now it's taken on a very odd twist, plot twist. And I want to get your ideas. I told Tina earlier on Instagool, shout out to Paul Romano. You know my favorite content creators, Paul Romano, and King Kev. I call him my play cuss. Kev is helping. Listen, he's helping the world right now. I don't care if it sounds like hyperbole. He is saving people. He is helping to break this case of worldwide exploitation of humans, and he's not letting off of these people. He made a very powerful connection, and I want to share that today because I learned that watching his broadcast. So Andrew Tate, okay, I've talked about him before. Remember, I talked about him last year. I didn't know a lot about Andrew Tate, so, forgive me. I'm not as well versed on the manosphere. I don't know all of the superstars of the manosphere, but I knew the ones that crossed over into, you could say, like more mainstream conservative circles. And Andrew Tate seems to be a fan fave of people that tend to lean on the truther side of the aisle, kind of conservative in his views that he shared. So that seemed to get a lot of support from people that we're familiar with, possibly yourselves. Don't feel bad if you support Andrew Tate, if you don't believe that this is real, you believe that the Matrix has sent their agent Smiths after him to frame him. If that's a narrative that you believe, have at it, okay? Share some of the reasons why you believe that Andrew Tate is being targeted by the Matrix and the agent Smiths have come after him to frame him in an international circle of I don't want to say the word, but when you're stuck in traffic. So what's up? What's good? Are you an Andrew Tate fan? There you are, Tina. Thank you. Let's put our heads together. Good evening, beautiful Tina. Thank you for being here. I appreciate it. Really, I do. I love it. IG says, did anyone here that Bab Walters and Benedict Pope kicked Ed the Buck. I heard that Babs has left this plane of existence. So she was 93, I believe. So Barbara Walters has passed on, and the Pope, yes, I heard about that. Is there something like that you guys are thinking about that particular thing? I know it's just been a lot of, people, leaving, lots of exits. So yeah, maybe one day I would do a deep dive on Barbara Walters. I'm not sure. I'm sure her name's going to come up somehow. I've seen her in pictures, I've grabbed some pictures because I'm a picture person. I've seen her in pictures with some of the players, on the world stage, of course, because she was definitely one of those journalists that I believe she was a high ranking, you could throw it in the chatmosphere. And, there have been whispers about some of the powerful men that she has possibly, who knows? I don't know. I have my theories though, but we'll get into it another time, maybe, right? Biz Wolfer, welcome. Nice to see you here in the chatmosphere. And Christine, welcome. Thank you. Yes, so this is something that I wanted to discuss with our group, because this again is why a lot of us are connected in the first place, because we heard the call to action. We heard the call that there are some things happening right in front of our faces sometimes. Some things we didn't realize we could have gotten caught up in, almost caught up in, right? And the term trafficking, I'll just say it, I'll take the chance, whatever. It's probably a banned word, but trafficking is something that it's not always like the movies, like with Liam Neeson. It's not always on that level, okay? There are various types of trafficking. You've got Pookie and Ray Ray in the hood trafficking people, okay? They're doing it in their own way. You've got people in probably, what is that part of LA where it's like people film porn in their living rooms and bedrooms, right? It's a Chatsworth. That's the name. Chatsworth, which is the valley. And Chatsworth is possibly, I think I'm right in saying this, you can correct me. Chatsworth is the hub, possibly the center of pornography, right? That's where it would be the Hollywood of pornography, is Chatsworth. This is like a little sleepy community in the valley. You would not know this. The only reason I know it is because when I lived in LA, when I lived in Thousand Oaks, there was a woman who, she had a ministry. She would go down into Hollywood and she would help to rescue women caught in trafficking. The stories were harrowing. What she would get up and tell us sometimes on a Sunday, the things that she experienced, and it was supernatural stuff happening. Her stories were, they would keep you on the edge of your seat. And the way that LA is set up, we lived Thousand Oaks, which is a little bit above the valley with the, the Valley Girl, that whole thing. So Chatsworth is nestled in there. It's like a like I said, it's like a nice community. You would never think anything was going on, but they're making pornos from their homes, from these beautiful homes. So you never know what's going on in your neighborhoods in California, because California is a place where people stay to themselves. They don't have like a community feel. They don't really, mesh with each other as much as you would think. Especially if you're not from LA, it's really hard to find a community. I found one through church. But if it's a lot of people that spend time in their cars, hours and hours, just by themselves. And so you can live in, like, say, a complex. You don't know what's going on. That can be anything, anywhere. But it just has another level out there in LA. So I've heard some pretty crazy stories living in Los Angeles, and I want to remain open, okay, to things that are going to be shocking, okay? For those that support Andrew Tate, I get it. It's probably really hard to consider that anybody that we like could be caught up in trafficking humans. But we have to remain open-minded about what is trafficking and exploitation of people. And that's what this is really about, forcing the will of a person onto another person. That's what this whole satanic stuff, the evil that we are seeing, especially come to the surface. It's all about forcing people. Forcing. Look at what happened in 2020. The forcing, the pushing. You've got to get this. You've got to do this. You've got to put a muzzle on your face. So you've got to take experimental bioweapons. You've got to do it. And they did such a mental, it was such an abusive, narcissistic, just tyrannical, anything you can name. But that is the whole spirit behind human trafficking, behind anything that's done that you would call Luciferian, satanic. It is about forcing. And that is basically like this, to overpower someone, not respect one's boundaries. So, John is here. John, welcome. Nice to see you. Oh my goodness. What are you saying, John? The biggest form of currency in the world. People have long-term value. That's a good point. Thank you for bringing that up. See, currency is another thing. Currency is not always money. Currency is also people. Let's not mince our words here. We heard the quote from, what's his name? He got in trouble. Remember, he went on a rant. Why am I forgetting? He said that children, babies, are a form of currency in Hollywood. So in the world realm of trading currencies, people are also not just babies. Mel Gibson said that babies are like caviar in the Hollywood circles. Children, but babies, he said it's like caviar. They are traded. See, once people hit a certain level financially, you already know how many more things can you buy? How many Bugattis can you drive? How many houses in Romania? How many big, skyrise, high-rise, condominiums? How many of these things can a person collect and feel a sense of fulfillment? And that's what happens. See, we weren't designed to keep accumulating this type of wealth in this system. It's not true wealth. And it's based on debt, a debt-based currency, a fiat currency that we were put on in the early 1900s, right? We know about the monster, the creature from Jekyll Island. I have made a trip to Jekyll Island, so I can tell you this is not a conspiracy theory. When you go to the hotel on that island, it has a plaque on the door where JP Morgan, all those names that we know of, the banking people, that's where they concocted and they came together through crafty counsel to plot against us. And ultimately, when you follow the money, it leads right back to the same people, the banking people, that did this to us in the first place. So people, we've heard, are traded, just traded around. We are all traded around, bonded out. We're bondsmen and bondswomen until we learn. And like I always bring up what I learned in Kevro University is the law of restoration. There are laws to everything in this world. And we'll talk more about those things. But I want us to talk about this recent revelation, this narrative right now that Andrew Tate, one of like the biggest, they call him the big G, Andrew Tate, could possibly not be who we thought he was. Is it possible? Does anybody have just 100% like confidence in Andrew Tate? 100% confidence where you could say without a doubt that you know the character of this person. Could you stand by that and really like sign your name and vouch for Andrew Tate? Could you? I mean, you couldn't do that for me. And we've been hanging out. We don't know what people are into. And this is a weird type of reveal. I'm observing, but I'm not really like, I don't know really what I'm seeing. That's why I want to hear from you because, we come together. This is a group project. We care about people. That's the ultimate thing. We care about what's happening to the least, to the ones that don't have a voice. That's what we have to do in order to even talk about our own, like, like my people want to talk about slavery and slavery and slavery. And I would throw back a question, especially in after 2016, when I learned about a lot of this stuff, and it just really it floored me, the stuff that I was learning. And then when I lived in LA, I knew a woman, well, actually I knew a few women that they went to a church that had a very active ministry to help deliver people from human trafficking. So we would go to a lot of their meetings and learn. Especially, they wanted us to learn some of the things that happen right in front of you and you don't even realize it. They wanted to make us aware because you could possibly save somebody just by being aware. You know, situational awareness. When you're at the mall, I mean, you know, I don't know if you still go to the mall, but if you're at the mall, these are places where young people are lured away. These are big targeting places. You've probably already learned these kind of things, but there are things that you can look out for. Anytime if I'm on an airplane and I see children, I try to check in and try to see what type of situation do the children really know these people. You can observe things. And what are you saying, Nancy? I've heard they were using Disney cruise ships to move children kind of right under our noses. Yes, Nancy. I heard the same thing about the Disney cruises. In fact, let's just circle back to that real quick, because we're going to talk about St. Croix, the U.S. Virgin Islands. Okay, so the Disney cruise, it would make a stop in the Virgin Islands, the U.S. Virgin Islands. So I've lived in the U.S. Virgin Islands. I lived in St. Croix. My family lived there for a bit. I've told you about this. So it's a lot of weird activity down there in the Virgin Islands. And now it makes sense to me. I didn't know why. The islands are, when I say crawling with agents, from the DEA to where all the alphabet people hang out in the U.S. Virgin Islands. There are also a lot of people that hide out in the U.S. Virgin Islands. So it is a place where people dip out of the continental U.S. and they go down there to hide. So it's something going on in the Virgin Islands. And you know about St. Croix, then you have St. Thomas, you have St. John, and then you have Little St. John. Okay, so and then you have this other little island, I'm trying to think of it. It's a key. It's a little key that has a hotel on it, and it's not far from downtown St. Croix, like Christiansted. So you could look at it just from the downtown area of Christiansted, the little island. I'm not remembering it right now, but they have a little rinky-dink hotel. Yes, I said it. The hotel is crunchy and nasty looking. They need a big overhaul. It's gross. But anyway, it used to have it was 5-star at one time. But anyway, this hotel, you could, see it from the shore. Then St. Thomas, on a really clear day, you could see right across to St. Thomas. It's that, that way. If you're, certain place on the island, you could see from St. Croix to St. Thomas. So then you have St. John, which is more like a chill kind of island. It's not like St. Thomas. It's more elite and more exclusive. But a lot of people live on St. John like they do St. Thomas and St. Croix. But again, it's a little more chill, not as much going on. Then you have, again, Little St. John. So Little St. John is Epstein Island. Get it now? So you have the Disney cruise, which we heard allegedly was cruising through and stopping at Little St. John. Why? We can only imagine. That's what I heard allegedly, that the Disney cruise was stopping off there somehow. I don't know. Fact check me. Was it St. John or Little St. John? Either way, there's some weirdness going on with the Disney cruise that is targeted for children and families. But not only that, I want to also bring up something that I heard that was weird about Little St. John. There's a couple that had a pizza type of restaurant thing, and it was like if you have a food truck, and it was like a boat type of thing. And I read a while back that this couple that had this business would float over to that area, the Epstein Island, Little St. John, and somehow they would sell their weird, okay? Something about pizzas, weird stuff going on. And there's a new development with Epstein Island and the U.S. Virgin Islands that I want to share, okay? Because this is a circle back again. All right, so let's see. If I haven't gotten to your comments, just forgive me. I want to get to sharing this, and I'm going to jump in and see what's going on. But I want to thank you for joining. Okay, so let's see. Hey, Alan, welcome. Thanks for joining. Hi. Okay, so let me share my screen. All right, so this a plot twist. And the reason I call plot twist is I didn't expect, and I'm sure you haven't either. And you probably feel like you dropped down into a weird rabbit hole, and someone slipped you a mushroom, right? What the heck, everybody? Can you help me? I woke up to the craziest news like you. Like, okay, wait a minute. Andrew Tate, who I had to catch up on who this dude was. And wait a minute. He and Greta, how dare you? He and Greta are sharing barbs against each other on Twitter. Well, he was reinstated on Twitter. He was one of the ones reinstated. But I thought a man of his stature to go back and forth with a young woman. Now they say she's 20. I don't know. So to go back and forth, okay, at 20, you're technically an adult, but still, we knew her as a child on the world stage. So Andrew Tate, a wealthy man, an international man of intrigue, why are you going back and forth with a 20-year-old? You know, to me, it was odd. How about you? I don't expect men in his position to even care about a Greta Thunberg, right? You said a 20-year-old machine. Yeah. A lot of people say a lot of things about her. And, you know, it's like, why would he waste his time like tweeting back and forth with her? So I was kind of like giving that the side eye. And then when he went into, well, I've got 30, did he say 30 or 33? Let's get the tinfoil turbans out. He may have said 33 cars, okay? He's got a Bugatti and he's got a this and he's got a, and you know what? It's like, come on, man. Really? Are we doing this? So she came back and clapped back with small d energy. You think it was 33, Christine? Okay, so isn't that a little bit odd? I'm not trying to make things up, but come on. He has 33 cars. So everybody, okay. So I was right. Okay, Sean says 33. What's that all about, right? So it's a lot going on that makes you feel like they're playing in our face. I don't like to feel like they're playing in our face like this. playing with our feelings and emotions. Hey, Jenny Okie girl. Yes, I used to love Alfred E. Newman. Mad Magazine. Who else read that? Yes, Summer Soul. There's the word. That's what I'm wondering. 33. Come on, controlled opposition. So what would be the purpose? Help me figure what's really going on. What are your theories on, okay, of course, the pizza boxes were weird. Two pizza boxes that have 25 to, I guess, maybe Jerry's Pizza was open for 25 years. And even the name Jerry in Romania is a little bit interesting. I'm not sure. What do you think? So you've got two pizza boxes, and Andrew is in a Versace robe. I don't know what you all think about Versace robes, but I did a little something that I want us to go back and watch on the Versace robes, because everything seems to be a message encoded. And I'm just wondering, what is this message? And Greta being a part of this whole thing. Now, bear with me, because I want to pull up something to show you. And this is what I did earlier today or yesterday on Kev's his broadcast. The Greta, I'm going to pull it up so we can read it together, okay? But I have to. Yeah, there it is. Okay. So let's see what you all are saying. Patricia's saying all codes. Yeah, and Jamie is saying just a movie scene. It does feel that way. I mean, even with Ye, or Ye, why am I calling you? Ye has disappeared. So that character has left the world stage, if we want to say that character. He's quiet for a minute, so other people pop up. We have, well, I don't know if she ever really goes away, but we have Jaguar Wright, who has likened herself to doing similar work that Kanye is doing, like being the disruptor, being the one that, as I said, rips the Band-Aid off and lets the sunlight get through to those wounds that are hidden. So you say theater. Yeah, Daryl. It does look like theater. Hey, Joseph, thanks for hanging out tonight. They just all seem doubly evil, right? They are doubling down with the wickedness. Yes, they are. They are doubling down. Yeah, that's what I'm wondering. I'm concerned about that, Christine, right? Ye being reprogrammed. If he comes back with blonde hair, that might be a concern, right? But they say he's in Africa, and it hits pretty similar to what we heard when Dave Chappelle checked out and went to Africa. I don't really know what that means, so let me know. Tina's thinking staged. All of this weird stuff is, yeah, it's weird. It's too weird. But the thing that makes me want to, get together with you all and think through some of this stuff is that you might have some new information, but also, what are you sensing in terms of, okay, Greta, for a lot of truthers, whenever you bring Greta's name up, everybody's like, hiss, 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 nobody wants to hear from Greta with her conspiracies on climate change, right? Especially when Greta is flying all around on private jets and she's being chauffeured all around in different cars, maybe electric, maybe not. But This is a girl who's flying so much. So how does she justify it when they always talk about your carbon footprint? How does she offset her carbon footprint? And that's just a question that, a lot of truthers would want to know. She's not a fan favorite, I get, but maybe the enemy of my enemy is my friend. I don't know. What are they trying to tell us with using the name Greta? And I'm going to show you what I learned from Kev. Greta, to be the one that in this narrative, they said, oh, Greta really bodied him. It's like, what is this? Biggie and Tupac, West Coast, East Coast? Like, this is stupid. This is too dumb to be dumb that Greta bodied Tate. But okay, we'll play along. Greta bodied Andrew Tate. But why? Why Greta, of all people? Greta has never made any kind of reference to being against human trafficking, has she? She's more so, how dare you make kids have to come and talk about saving she's into the environmental stuff, not into saving people. She bodied herself, Sean said. Hansel and Greta. Okay, so let me show you this. I'm going to stop the screen. Okay, so Greta. What is up with the name Greta? Well, let me show you. This is very interesting. All right, so I want to give credit to Kev. Should I accept the cookies? I never accept cookies on this website. Okay. Configure cookies. Do I have to even do? I'm going to accept all of them. Okay, if something happens to this computer, I'm over it, okay? Okay, so look here and let me know what you think, okay? Greta. About Greta, the group of experts on action against trafficking in human beings. So this is from the website of Council of Europe. So this is what Greta stands for. Greta is responsible for monitoring the implementation of the Council of Europe Convention on Action Against Trafficking in Human Beings by the parties. That's interesting, the parties. Greta meets in plenary sessions 3 times a year. Greta carries out visits and draws up and publishes country reports evaluating legislative and other measures taken by parties to give effect to the provisions of the convention. In addition, Greta regularly publishes general reports on its activities. Article 36 of the convention concerns membership of Greta. Okay, this is interesting. Okay, let me read it because maybe you all might see or hear something. If you see something, say something. It stipulates that Greta, I know I'm saying that real weird, Greta, shall have a minimum of 10 and a maximum of 15 members, and stresses the need to ensure geographical and gender balance. Oh boy. As well as a multidisciplinary expertise when electing Greta members. So this is talking more about their internal stuff. Okay, so as you can see, they have, things going on. So this is an active situation, okay? They are headquartered Avenue de la Europe, F, whatever Strasbourg syntax in France. And there's a telephone number. It's always nice when you can call. So, what do you think, people? What do you think about the fact that this Greta is some sort of governing? It says it is a convention. So I was very amazed by this. So a convention. Yeah. And you can go to the website. Won't get into it all right here, but I just thought, is your head spinning? Christine said her head is spinning. Mine too. Yeah, it's spinning, right? What do you think? Do you have any thoughts as your head is spinning? Please share them. Drop them in the chatmosphere. If your head is spinning, let me know as I take a sip. Okay, so Lori, hey Lori. Lori says, I think she's a twit who's being manipulated. Okay, that's what you think. Daryl, what are you thinking? Daryl says, it's an incremental exercise to trivialize Greta. You see, we started off taking her extremely seriously. Wow. That's interesting. You know, I like the term incremental because that's what happens with a lot of this stuff. It's an incremental, whatever is happening to bring us to a point in either a reveal, a revelation, or exposure of a person, of a character on the world stage. We've heard that people play many roles. If you are someone that read Shakespeare and the world is a stage, your head is spinning too. Okay, Camilla. All right. So heads are spinning. Yep. My head is spinning somewhat. I just, I wanted to see what does my family think? Help me. I don't have any ideas. I'm all out of conspiracy theories. That's the problem. I have no new conspiracy theories. They're all true now. Let's see. Jernasia, I've missed you. Hey, I'm so glad you're here. Nice to see you. Welcome, welcome. You said we're no help. You are. It's helpful to at least have a community that we could say heads are rolling. Heads will be rolling too, okay? So now we have this come up with Andrew Tate and the pizza box still. Pizza, pizza, pizza. We heard it is a coded term used by people who are trading people. And we were called conspiracy crazies and everything you can imagine. But why? Why is this picture? Let me put it back up for those who think that maybe this is photoshopped. That this is, he's being framed. This is the Matrix coming after someone. When I look at Andrew in this picture, he has a cigar. He has a Cuban cigar, which can also have another, meaning. So you got Cuban cigar. He's in a Versace robe. He's got 2 Jerry's pizza boxes with a QR code. And the look on his face, whoever captured this picture, he looks like such a goofball, just completely goofy and hard to take serious. And again, I've not listened to his content really. I've just heard little clips and things, but he's coming off as a created character. I'm I'm just saying. Okay, so next I want to, what else did I want? I want to play something. Okay, so, and I'll be looking to Sean says Greta is an insult to our intelligence. Okay, she might be. Hi, Gwen. Welcome, Gwen. Hi, welcome, and thank you. Have any ideas? Is your head spinning? Let us know. Is your intelligence being insulted? Okay, so since I was talking about, yeah, since I was talking about the Versace robe, yeah, okay, let me do that. Let me play. I did something last year on a Versace robe, and I want to just play it so we can watch it together. Let's just see what it might sound again. Rise of Lilith and the dark matriarchy. Okay. So as you see, it's going to start off with Jay-Z, Beyonce, and their daughter, Blue Ivy. So where they are is at the Gianni Versace mansion in Miami. Okay, so we know what happened to Gianni Versace, or we might not, down by a former lover, and he was unalived, as this is the new word we use on YouTube. He was unalived. So his mansion is now being leased out for events and things, and it's become quite a place for people to take pictures by a lot of the different features of this home. So this is Beyonce again, and her husband. Okay, so not to get into that rabbit hole, but just I want to just play a little bit of this.
Google pictures in with the kids of her. Now, circling back to the Medusa bathrobe, the Versace bathrobe. And I'm just naming this Medusa bathrobe ritual. I'm not sure what's going on. So many people want to be photographed on their travels, eating food. Looks like Rick Ross was maybe barbecuing in the Medusa bathrobe. What is that about? This young man wins the Instagool challenge. He's running through the hallway in his Versace robe, and he gets extra points for having a Starbucks in his hand. Will someone come and get their dad, uncle, brother, grandfather up in this Versace robe? Even the queen of talk show herself, look at her going through an airport in a Versace robe. What is going on? Medusa does give nice perks, trinkets, yes, stars on the walk of shame. It seems Versace has become one of the most powerful gatekeepers for the Medusa mother.
Okay, can you hear me? I just wanted to play that. Let me get that off the screen. You guys will be saying, get it off, get it off. I'm sorry. We all had to do that together. Look at Donatella Versace. What the hell? Okay, so Medusa and that whole thing, and you got the Versace robe. And I was wondering, okay, Interesting to be photographed in your Versace robe and pizza. Weird. But I found the Versace robe thing it seemed to me like a ritual, some sort of weird ritual. But again, as we are reevaluating fashion, these fashion houses, they are very dark, very wicked stuff. And the trafficking of people. You know, when you see these lookbooks, these are catalogs. People are shopping for people. They're categorizing people. I said it. I said it. I don't care what it sounds like, but that's what's happening. All right, folks. Modeling, all that stuff, terrible. I hope nobody is considering putting their children in modeling or yourself in modeling. Please reconsider that. I don't like modeling. I can't recommend it at all. Okay, I'm just dead set against it. Okay, so then this came up, something about banking again. And JP Morgan, who basically, the name again, the family, the legacy, this is basically a legacy of an enslaver, a group of enslavers. So JP Morgan is now factored into this whole thing. And I think these banks are going to go down. What about you? Let me know. I think they're going down because the things that they've been involved in, you can't thrive and continue in these ways. So let me just, I thought I had it, JP Morgan and what should I put? JP Morgan and trafficking? I'll do that. Trafficking. Okay. Yeah. This was on the 29th of December. JP Morgan Chase profited from Jeffrey Epstein's sex trafficking. This is a lawsuit. So JP Morgan Chase benefited financially. They failed to report suspicious activity he was convicted as a pedophile. So there's a lawsuit. The U.S. Virgin Islands government alleged JP Morgan Chase allowed the disgraced financier, it's always like the disgraced financier, to funnel money among his various shell companies, which funded his illicit activities. The complaint was filed in Manhattan federal court on Tuesday. Epstein owned a massive property on Little St. James. Okay, I was wrong. I called it Little St. John. Correction, Little St. James. Dubbed Pedophile Island, and was forced to register as a sex offender in the Virgin Islands after pleading guilty to soliciting prostitution from it says a minor. I'm going to correct that and say a child. He died by suicide in a Manhattan jail while awaiting trial on federal sex trafficking charges in 2019. Over more than a decade, JP Morgan clearly knew it was not complying with federal regulations in regard to Epstein-related accounts, as evidenced by its too little, too late efforts after Epstein was arrested on federal sex trafficking charges and shortly after his death, when JP Morgan belatedly complied with federal law. Human trafficking was the principal business of the accounts Epstein maintained at JP Morgan. The lawsuit stated JP Morgan knowingly, negligently, and unlawfully provided and pulled the levers through which recruiters and victims were paid, and was indispensable to the operation and concealment of the Epstein trafficking enterprise. This is from the New York Post. They sought a comment from JP Morgan Chase. Don't you love when they seek a comment? Of course, you all know what the answer. What happens when they go and seek a comment? Can we get a comment from you, JP Morgan Chase? You see him out on Madison Avenue getting a coffee. Excuse me. Are you with the customer service at JP Morgan Chase? Can we get a statement from you? What do they normally do? Or we're calling them up. What do they do? What's they want to see? Are we still on? Are you all, is the chatmosphere? Nobody's saying anything in the chatmosphere. Are they not allowing you to? Are you still with me? What do they normally say? I'm concerned. Sean was the last person to make a comment. Is something going on? Somebody make a comment, please. Throw something in the chatmosphere. Let me know, are we still on? Can you hear me? Was I just talking to myself? I'll wait. Maybe I'll get a sip of water and I'll wait. Are we still connected? I'm getting nervous. Can somebody make a comment? Oh my goodness, wowzers. This hasn't happened. What? Nobody's making a comment? What's up? This is bizarre. I just want to know, are we still here together? Maybe I'll call Girl Code and ask her, Girl Code, we're on. There you are. Lots of we are on YouTube. Lots of comments. So I can't see them, maybe? Jernasia. Thank you, Jernasia. So you still hear me. Okay. I was going to say, as I was reading, okay, thank you. I know I'm still, but Jernasia's commenting from Facebook. I'm not on the you can't see them. That's weird. Okay, StreamYard. I don't know what that is about. Okay. Oh, keep going. Okay. All right. So the Post sought comment from JP Morgan Chase and the co-executors of Epstein's estate. New York-based attorney Darren Endike and accountant. Oh, good. Thank you, Molly. Molly, thank you. Okay. I don't know why I don't see it here in StreamYard. I'm telling you, I'm going to be done with StreamYard soon. I keep saying that. Okay, so Darren Endike and accountant Richard Kahn were not immediately available for comment. That's what they always say. They're not immediately available for comment. Okay. So we know the narrative. I'm not going to get into reading about Epstein Island. We know that it is an ongoing thing and everything seems to be connecting, just connecting all over the place. Okay, so there was a woman that I came across, her name last year, named Denise George. And I want to just play something from that video I did. Bear with me. Okay, it's just titled simply Virgin Islands Attorney General and Epstein Maxwell property forfeiture. Okay. Maybe I'll go on YouTube on my device and see what's going on. Can I see you all? Okay, wait a minute.
Let's talk about Denise. Okay, she's the lady in the picture right here. Denise George became the U.S. Virgin Islands Attorney General. Okay, so her being the Attorney General, she came in 2018. Now, she's made a very bold stance, okay? And she had requested, when I learned about her, she requested 20 years of flight logs involving Little St. James Island and Greater St. James Island. So for anybody who has if you're familiar with the Virgin Islands, you know it's several. You have the British Virgin Islands, you have the U.S. Virgin Islands, which they are U.S. territory. Now, Arlene says, oh, Jen, I lived on St. Thomas in the late 80s. Wow. So you were down there when my parents lived in that area. They lived, of course, St. Croix, but St. Thomas, not too far. You could even see St. Thomas on a clear day, right, Raylene? So you'll know a lot about what I'm going to bring up, Raylene. Anybody else who's had if you visited Virgin Islands, it's changed a lot since the 80s, but a lot of places have, right? So again, U.S. Virgin Islands Attorney General Denise George, she requested these flight logs. Now, she did this because she is wanting to get justice for the victims of. Now, when we talk about Jeffrey Epstein and the victims of Jeffrey Epstein, it is the same for Ghislaine Maxwell. Their victims are the absolute same. So this is why his name, you can't separate the two. They were in conjunction in this big enterprise. So she wants to get the flight logs. I'm not sure if she got them. I want to contact her office. I sent a message over on YouTube, but I want to contact and see if there's anything I can find out. If any of you have any, connection to Denise George, her office, her team. She has a massive team of people. She has the Deputy Attorney General, Thomas Jacobs, and Carol Thomas Jacobs, I think, Solicitor General Pamela Tepper, Chief of Civil Division Ariel Smith, and Director of Sex Offender Registry, Shani Penny. So that's the team that's working with her. And then there's a lady who may be press secretary or, that handles the press. Her name is Sandra Gumansky. And I don't have many ties to St. Croix like I used to. I have a good friend who, I could call, I call on her, what she knows. And I want to say, for anybody who lives in the Virgin Islands, if you are in St. Thomas, St. Croix, or, St. John, I want to say that if you know anything, I know that you've been encouraged to come forward and help the Attorney General, her team, because in a small island, you all know what a microcosm that is. And I want to just share that when I was in St. Croix, I was shocked because it was like living in a small town here in America.
Okay, I am now in the chatmosphere on YouTube because for some reason the chat is not going anymore on StreamYard like it was. But Journasia is on Facebook and I can see you on Facebook. So, okay. Sean says I have a secret. No secret, Sean. Okay, so this is something. Okay, Denise George is a very brave woman. Let's see. Am I able to? It's a delay here. It's a weird delay. Okay. This is what I wanted to show and share that is, I guess it just broke, about Denise George. Okay. Well, lo and behold, everyone, this came out yesterday. Wait, let me see. Okay. Attorney General Denise George removed from post. I wonder why. Okay, so this is from the St. Thomas source, U.S. Virgin Islands. Government House has confirmed that Attorney General Denise George has been relieved of her duties. But in a short statement Sunday night, declined to say why. I relieved Denise George of her duties as Attorney General this weekend, Governor Albert Bryan Jr. said. I thank her for her service to the people of the territory during the past 4 years as Attorney General and wish her the best in her future endeavors. Assistant Attorney General Carol Thomas Jacobs will serve as acting Attorney General. The termination comes less than a week after George filed suit against J.P. Morgan Chase Bank in Manhattan Federal Court, alleging the company facilitated Jeffrey Epstein's sex trafficking scheme in the U.S. Virgin Islands. The 30-page suit filed last Tuesday and heavily redacted in parts, claims J.P. Morgan turned a blind eye to evidence of human trafficking over more than a decade of doing business with Epstein because of his wealth and the deals and clients he brought and promised to bring to the bank. A month prior, the Virgin Islands government settled a civil suit also filed by Denise George against the Epstein estate for $100 million, believed to be the largest monetary settlement in the history of the territory. Epstein companies and nonprofit organizations that had accounts with JP Morgan included the 2013 Butterfly Trust, Crow2 Enterprises LLC, the COUQ Foundation, Enhanced Education, Financial Trust Company Incorporated, HBRK Associates Incorporated, Hyperion Air Incorporated, JEGE Incorporated, and it goes through Southern Financial and Southern Trust Company, according to the suit. The Southern Trust Company was central to the Virgin Island government's suit against the Epstein estate, which settled the matter while not admitting any wrongdoing. Okay. So Mrs. Denise George is a native Virgin Islander who attended the All Saints Catholic School and graduated from the Charlotte Amalie High School. She received her Juris Doctor degree from Howard University Law School in 1984 and began her legal career as a territorial law clerk for Judge Vern A. Hodge and Judge Ive Arlington Swan. So, interesting, and I want to see your comments. Okay, so I looked at her as a hero. When I learned what she did, coming in only 3 years, and she really stuck it to the Epstein Island stuff. Oh, you guys are back in the chat? I see Molly. I can see you back in this chat. Okay, you're back. This is great, but I'll look on here too. Okay, so what are you thinking? Bronx Patriot says, when lots of money involved, people look the other way. They will get their just desserts. There you are. All right, so now we can see a new development that Mrs. Denise George has been, as they, their language is just so, I hate how they use language. Well, they say removed from post here, but she was relieved of her duties. All right, so they just got rid of her. And yeah, so JP Morgan and these people, they seem like giants, right? But the thing is that it's up. Okay, didn't Ye say it's up? I'm going to say it's up. And 2023 is about to snatch some wigs on anybody who has been pimping, because pimps are down. I'm going to put it in the chat. Pimps down. So pimping ain't going to be paying. Okay? Pimping ain't going to be paying. It's up. Ain't it? It's up. So it's up. And the spirit of truth is here. And these things are going to be exposed. I don't know how anyone thought they were going to get away with this. But this is it's crazy. I don't know what we're seeing when it comes to this issue with Greta and what's his face? Your guess is as good as mine. And I please put comments down below in the chat And in the comment section, I'll love to see the connections you're going to make. I'm going to be listening in to Kev. I mean, I could be in a doctor's office and I have my little earpieces and I'm listening to Kev because he brings it, okay? He brings it. And his team, they are cracking these cases and making connections that I've just not seen. I've not seen these kind of connections. It's powerful. So I'll stay tuned because it is an issue that, like I said, it has brought us together. We are very concerned about what's happening. It's not just children, it's women. You know, it's horrible. And Andrew Tate has been on podcasts, you know, talking really reckless about how he views women. And I know a lot of you guys have your complaints about women, American women. You don't like us. Okay, you want to get your passports and go and get other exotic women. And you know what's happening with the whole passport bros? This is collapsing also. So the manosphere is collapsing, and people are saying that they are cursed. They had another man from the manosphere, you know, drop like suddenly, whatever, died suddenly, hashtag, up in Canada, and he called himself Sinful the P. Allegedly was married to a 14-year-old, not married, but got her pregnant. I don't know how you can clean that up. I don't know how you can twist it into something that is good. But a grown man getting a 14-year-old pregnant, yeah, this is not going to continue. Nobody is going to be able to clean this up. And it's being judged. It's being exposed. It's being judged. And people are going to fall right before our eyes. Anybody messing with children, as the Bible says, let me go look it up so I could read it exactly as it says. What does it say? If you mess with children, you might as well put what around your neck? Let me read it. I'm going to pull it up. Because this is putting anybody on notice, okay? They say these people can't be rehabilitated, and I believe it. I do. Okay, if anybody knows the quote, that's right. God will not be mocked. There you go, Michelle Bear. Hey, Michelle Bear, welcome. Let's give Michelle Bear some love in the chat. There you are, millstones. There you are. There you are. Okay, so if anyone causes one of these little ones, those who believe in me, to stumble, it would be better for them to have a large millstone hung around their neck and to be drowned in the depths of the sea. Now, I know some people say that this doesn't refer to children, but I'm applying it right now. I'm back. I'm back. Thanks for holding. I guess the things didn't like me saying that. There you go. You guys are back in the chatosphere here. They're doing weird things to the feed. Somewhere in time, welcome, millstones and wood chippers. There you are. So there you are. And you think it applies? Sandy says, I've heard people say, no, it doesn't apply to children. It applies to believers. We are considered the little ones. But I'm applying it to children, okay? And a lot of you will agree. Millstones for everyone. Okay. Like Oprah said, you get a millstone, you get a millstone, they get a millstone. And anybody, I don't care if it's your favorite person, if they are involved, they get a millstone. Nobody is exempt. Okay. We're talking law. And all these banks, JP Morgan, you get a millstone. You get a big millstone. And every giant will fall. Every last one. God will not be mocked, as someone said. These children need to have a voice. I want to thank anybody who is courageous enough to still talk about this stuff. Still be concerned. Because the things that I heard Andrew Tate saying about women, it really bothered me. You know, talking so, just cavalier about, oh, if she doesn't, I'll kick her out. I'll kick this one out. This is the cruel, abusive tone that we've been hearing online, especially. You had Tommy Sotomayor. A lot of people liked him. I used to watch him. And I have to tell you honestly, they say when someone says honestly, that means, was I lying about everything else? No. Okay, this is a term I need to get rid of saying that. But I want to tell you this. It's more personal. That's what I mean. Personally, when I used to listen to Tommy Sotomayor way back, I knew that he was speaking truth about how women were turning into like just impossible people, with this feminism going to its extremes. A lot of women don't agree with that stuff. We're not on board with it. So Tommy, you could find some, common ground. But when he would start with the, you bunch of hair hats, that's what he said women, wear wigs, so hair hats, and he had all these terms. It was very abusive. And it would hurt when I would hear him say these things. And then comes other people, other minor players in the manosphere. And then you had Kevin Samuels come out of nowhere and become a big star of the manosphere. And he grew when he became the voice of, dejected men. And I get it. I can see both sides of this. So I'm not like, I only side with women. I'm not one of those people. I try to listen to both sides, and I understand where the extremes have happened. It has happened out of a lot of pain, a lot of issues, mommy and daddy issues. I get that. And a lot of the voices I see some of them as a rod of correction. Even though it feels really like painful to hear it, it's something that some of it needs to be said. But we have to understand that the underlying thing is pain. And there's a lot of trauma. So this is just getting spilled out onto people, and it's hurting a lot of people. I know people say, why are you watching it? Why are you watching Kevin Samuels? Why are you calling in? I would see people, really berating the young women that would feel hurt after they called Kevin Samuels. It's like, why would you do that? Well, a lot of them were looking for validation from a guy that they see as like a father figure. So this is, it goes pretty deep. But all that to say, this has become very toxic. And the enemy has been working to keep this divide between men and women. And it has to be healed. And the thing that will bring a lot of us together is what's happening in this human trafficking, especially of children. We're not going to normalize this. It's not going to become a normal like lifestyle alternative. It's just not. We're not ever going to be that progressive. So these people are in for a very rude awakening, because we are not going to be forced into it, and God Almighty is judging the land. That is why we're seeing exposure on this level. And we're going to watch people fall. They're going to fall hard. Some of them have time to repent, and some will not repent. They will go to their last breath rebelling against God. So I don't have anything more. I wish I could see your comments here. It looks like they've been cut off again here in StreamYard, where my view is. I can look on my device, but I can't put your thing on the screen. I can't do much in the inside of YouTube. Okay, so what I'll do is I will just end the stream here. And thank you for watching. I appreciate everything. And I will, keep you posted on things that I'm coming across, sharing things. And again, I want to read your comments. If you have any ideas on this whole like connection with Andrew Tate and this Greta organization and this banking connection with JP Morgan Chase. So we will continue to stay alert. And, thank you so much for everything over this year. Even just the channel that I can't get into right now, it's been up for a year. And we've had a lot that we've talked about over the year. I want to also ask you, because I'm trying right now different things to get into the channel. If I don't, I want you to know that I have a backup channel, that I'm streaming from the backup channel, but the backup channel is just the handle is just at JennyEason. Yeah, I think that's it. Just at JennyEason. I'll put it in there. So if you want to go over to that channel, that's where I do, I have a backup there. So go ahead and look for things over there sometimes, because I'll start to, if I can't get into the other channel, I'm just going to just chalk it up to the game, okay? And then just start to work from the other backup, okay? All right, so the Brunson case, maybe we can talk about that. Paint, Dance, Live. Thank you. Because Juan brought that up, the Brunson case. He brought my attention to that case. So maybe we can talk about that case, okay? All right, so I'll look into it more. And, oh, it's a January 6th date. Yes, I did see that. That's very fascinating. Oh, I definitely need to do that. January 6th. What's up with that? Okay, so the Brunson case coming up on January 6th. So we only have a little time to study up, everybody, and we can talk about it, okay? All right, so thank you again. Wherever you are in the chatmosphere here, whatever happened, it started happening when I started talking about JP Morgan Chase, right? Wasn't that when it happened? Fascinating. Okay, everybody, take good care. And I'll see you soon. All right? Okay. Ciao.